This mind-blowing story with an exhausted girl fed up with the burden of work. As Midori has been given overtime and hasn't slept, she wants to go straight to bed and rest. Her shivering legs and tiring looks reveal how she has suffered this month. At last, she has reached home and a few steps away from the bed. Unfortunately, she fell to the ground because her legs refused to support her weight. She has realized she is going to die, and it hurts her a lot, because her life hasn't given her a chance to say goodbye to her parents. Just then, her soul has departed from her body, and tears are rolled from her eyes. At this moment, she is repenting to die like this because there is no one around her. This time is lucky for her because God has granted her wish. In exchange, she needs to do something for God. With a shocked face, Midori inquires what she needs to do. God smiles and reveals Asdelan's world, where humans are persecuting other people on the base of species. Her task is to figure out whether humans should be wiped out. Listening to this, she is scared enough to death and denies doing the task. But God is aware of her weakness and assures her to give power by reincarnating her. This sounded good, and she expressed her passion for fluffy things. She even wanted to tame her parents' cat, whom she loves most. So, her only desire is to remain with fluffy animals who can take her weariness away. Observing her so much interest in fluffy things, God has decided to bestow her power related to animals. Also, he has reincarnated her without her permission. After that, she opens her eyes in the grand house where her parents and siblings are pleased to see a cute girl. Little Midori is shunned because she is unable to move and speak up. The only she can do is listen to them. Just then, her mother performs magic and gives her Nefertime name. 3 years later, Nima, her nickname, tells about her family. Nima is raised in the ducal family of Osf as a third-born child, and Nima is happy with her gentlemanly brother Ralph and her cute older sister Karna. Both are wishing her a happy third birthday. Her brother Ralph has brought flowers, and Karna shows fireworks as a celebration. Not only this, Nima has plenty of animals she needs to introduce. To feel their fluffiness, she runs to the animal and is about to fall due to a hurdle. Before she fell and got hurt, her pet dog, Dee, was always there to protect her. Also, her parents take a breath of relief by seeing their beloved daughter safe. On the other hand, Nima feels like she is in heaven because so many animals and birds surround her. But they are too much and difficult to handle. Soon, she realized she shouldn't tame too many animals. Still, she is happy in their company. After some time, Nima's mother is anxious because she is called to the royal palace. Her husband is not at home, and Ralph and Karna are in the academy. So, no one can take care of Nima. She had no option except to take her royal palace. Before taking Nima, she warns her to be a good girl. As Nima is going outside for the first time, in overexcitedness, she responds positively, and they move to the royal palace. Going there, she looks at the people's faces, and there is no clue of persecution. Arriving here, she cast a protection spell on her and asked her not to go anywhere. As soon as her mother moves to do her duty, she looks at the bird and chases it. She has run away by forgetting her mother's warning not to go anywhere. Chasing the birds, she has arrived at the garden. Here, attracted by Nima, squirrels, and other animals, she starts loving her, and her heart is pounding with happiness. Just then, furious but lovely eyes can be seen from the bushes. Feeling a strange presence, all the animals have vanished, and Nima diverts her attention to this animal. This is not a common animal because he is a sky tiger. Despite being scared, she has fallen for Sky Tiger, a beast, and she should keep a distance from him. Meanwhile, another shocking thing happens when Sky Tiger licks her. It reveals that Sky Tiger is obsessed with this little girl. Also, Nima gets closer to him and feels his fluffiness, which has taken her to another world. At the same time, Sky Tiger is seated, which is a sign that she can ride on him. It's strange because the beast allows a little girl to sit on him. Without any fear, she avails the opportunity and sits on his back. Sky Tiger takes her to the master, who is a prince. Prince is surprised to see a little girl on his Lars, because, except for him, he never gets attached to anyone. Also, he worries about this little girl who has easily trusted the beast and has no fear. Prince warns her, and Nima's attention diverts to him. For a second, she was mesmerized by his beauty and held her in his hand. Watching herself in this prince's arms, she gets annoyed. Nima continuously asks him to get her down, but Prince is enjoying her resistance, and to enrage her, he puts her on his shoulder. As a result, Nima has started yelling and moving her hands and legs like crazy. Prince has gotten his play toy and wants to enjoy it more, but Lars takes her from his lord and puts her down. It's shocking for Prince because Lars has never been friendly with her. This time, the prince is impressed with this girl and inquires about her parents, who have left her alone. She tries to clear his misunderstanding so that she isn't lost. But Prince is not in the mood to listen to her and take her to her father. Riding on the sky tiger's back, she is moving to Royal Palace. Reaching King's library, she runs to her father. Her father is astonished, looking at her daughter here. Even he is worried about her. But Prince becomes a hero by saying he has saved Nima, who was lost in the forest. Listening to this, she is annoyed because she never lost. Her father hugs her and can imagine her loneliness in the forest. In reality, the situation is adverse because she can take care of her, but no one can convince them. Also, her father thanks him for saving her daughter by calling him Prince. Listening to this, she is shocked because she considers him a brute. But he has turned into a prince. Never mind, she has decided to call him Brute Prince. Just then, King himself introduces him to this cute girl. And she has also realized that if this brute young man is prince, he is king. So, she has decided to use all her charm to keep the king on her side. She gives her introduction charmingly and wins the heart of the king. Even the king has allowed her to come to the royal palace again. Listening to this, her heart is jumping with happiness. But still, there is a mother whose anger she has to tolerate. Her mother is resentful because she hasn't obeyed her order. To cheer her mood up, Nima mentions King's approval to come here again. Hearing this, she calms down, and Nima expresses her happiness to meet with Lars again. Her mother advises her to avoid meeting with Lars in loneliness, because he is a beast, and he can do anything with her. Also, she tells her about Sky Tiger, who gets power from divine power. The energy they use is called elementalism. On the other hand, humans take power from their mana, so she should be careful when Sky Tiger is around her. Without giving her mother a sign of understanding, she runs to D, and her mother is worried about her, because the animals are fond of her, and even Lars loves her company. Later, she is taken to the magnificent academy where her elders study. As her father is Duke, she is given special treatment. Before she creates another trouble, her mother again warns her to stick with her, and asks her to hold her hand. Her parents are asked to sit on a special seat to watch the competition. This ground is in front of them, created with the magic of teachers. She is impressed with the competition ground. The first round is between Ralph and his competitor. His personality makes Nima scared because he can beat his brother. With a confusing face, she is looking at the match. Both have soldiers and magic master wands in their hands. Getting started in the competition, Ralph and his rival start a fight. Luckily, Ralph proves dominant because he has knocked down his rival. Watching this, she's pleased and jumps to her brother. She congratulates him for his success but soon starts shivering. To calm herself, she needs to go to the restroom. After peeing, she feels lightweight and moves to her brother. Her brother is not alone. He is with Tristan, who is bragging he will win. She interrupted their conversation by calling her brother, but Tristan makes fun of him by saying Ralph has an excuse to lose the battle. He can say that he must take care of his sister, so he loses the battle. Listening to this, she gets infuriated and insults him. Tristan is unable to tolerate this and raises his hand to beat her. Before he can, Ralph gets in front of her and doesn't give him a chance to do such an evil thing. Just then, Prince has also arrives and both boys greets him. Prince reprimanded Tristan for raising his hand to the child, and he asked for forgiveness, because Prince himself is taking this side of this girl. Also, Prince assumes Nima is scared of Tristan and hiding behind her brother. But the truth is the opposite. She is hiding from the prince. Unfortunately, he tells Ralph about this incident of saving her. She again opposes that she never got lost in the forest. By doing so, she has gained the prince's attention, and he holds her in his hands. Also, Prince has decided to take her as a plaything. She refused to do so, but the prince knows how much she loves the royal palace, so he has given her access to the royal palace whenever she wants. Nima, yelling to be a plaything, is now considering this offer. Also, Prince threatens Tristan not to mess with her because she belongs to Prince. Hearing this, he ran away fearing from the prince. Also, he calms Ralph by saying his father has no objection to Nima, because he is fond of her. Also, Nima is agitated about the prince because he is happy listening to the king. Prince also notices and inquires about her behavior with him. How can she tell him that he looks like Brute to her? On the opposite, Prince thinks she wants his attention, so she has started playing with her cheeks. Watching her sister in trouble, Ralph asks him to hand over her to him, because she needs to attend Karna's trial. Prince also accompanies her because he doesn't want to leave Nima alone. Now, Ralph has no excuse to save her sister. By taking her in his hands, he moves to the ground where he has gotten the prince's treatment. But Prince asks them to take him as a student, because he is here to watch the competition as a student. Now, their attention moves to Karna, who is surrounded by a circle. Prince elaborates that this is a magical circle and she needs to overpower the monster that appears from this circle. As she starts the magic, a fire dragon appears from it. Watching the divine fire dragon, everyone is shocked and knows it's a challenging task to defeat him. Prince inquires about Karna, whose extraordinary power is fire, and how she can call him. His assistant tells him that her control over fire is high, but she needs to gain command of water elements. So, this is going to be risky. Nima, who is listening to this, is worried about the dragon. By watching her sister's smile, she realizes she will not leave the dragon. Her mother also supports her. Nima can't see. The holy dragon is to die. She jumps from the prince's lap. Without thinking, she rushes to the ground, and her parents are worried about her. Nima jumps from the high wall and has no idea she can fall. Just then, magic works, and she reaches the ground without harm. Aside from this, soldiers have gotten ready to tackle the fire dragon. But she rushes to the fire dragon and stands in front of him. Also, she shouts at everyone not to harm him. As this cutest girl Nima has prohibited the guard from attacking the dragon, they have shunned her. Also, the fire dragon's attention moves to her. He is wondering what this little girl is doing here, because this is not the place where this cute girl should be. As Nima can talk with him, he shares his anger and calls her forcefully. Also, if he is inflicting malice on him, then how can he let them go quickly? Now, it's Nima's turn to charm him with his beauty and stop him from taking any furious steps. She presents the adverse effects of fighting, which his gleaming scales can hurt, and she can't bear this cruelty on him. Divine Dragon is calmed down. Seeing his wrath is gone, she expresses her wish to pat on his scale. This desire shocks Fire Dragon because she is not terrified. Inspired by her innocence, he bends on her so that she can touch him. Watching this, guards are about to take action by believing that Dragon will hurt her. Before they proceed, Brute Prince forbids it because he knows nothing is wrong. Nima thinks that his body will be hot, but opposite to her expectations, he is calm and warm for her. As Fire Dragon falls from her, he makes Nima his master. Everyone around them is looking at Nima and Dragon with open mouths. They had never imagined a 3-year-old girl could tame this furious dragon. Also, Fire Dragon shares an orb with her. Through this, they are mentally connected. In addition, after 3 years, Nima can use the power whenever she desires. Fire Dragon can understand it would be difficult for Nima to keep the orb with her, so she can change the orb into whichever she wants to keep. After thinking for a while, she has turned into a teddy bear. She is pleased to meet with this elegant dragon who says farewell to her. When the fire dragon disappears, Karna holds her little sister in her arms, and tears roll from her eyes. After that, Brute Prince takes part by squeezing her cheeks. She has realized Brute Prince is also worried about her. Watching the situation, Brute Prince orders mages to tackle the situation. In the meantime, he plans to take them to the palace. Later, they are warmly welcomed into the court and given an amazing introduction. Many royal personalities are also there, which makes Nima nervous. Just then, the king and queen arrive, and they discuss the case. King is very well aware of Nima's pact with Fire Dragon. Also, he is worried that she can use its power against their kingdom. But Osf, Nima's father, clears their misunderstanding that this is not a formal pact, and she is only eligible to use the power when she is threatened. To clarify King's doubt, he swears by his name. It reveals he died when he poses to his statement. Nima is worried about his father and has realized they have gathered to talk about this serious matter. Just then, they discuss this case. Royal Magic Research Center Director, Salzer, disclosed that a magic circle is there, and the girl who has performed the magic is correct. She hasn't made any flaw due to the fire dragon being forcefully called. It reveals that God wished to send him here. Listening to this, Nima yells in her heart. Now, God hasn't left her alone in this world. She knows God has done this purposely because he wants her to be familiar with these people, but she isn't interested in knowing about them. High Priest also shares his perception. The divine dragon who appears here is a good omen for this kingdom, and that can be a source of boost up their spirit. Nima falls in doubt when she hears it. How can they use so much flowery language to please the king? But she has kept everything aside because her sole purpose is to accompany Fluffy, the animal. When she is thinking about that stuff, Brute Prince notices her expression. She feels irritated by this and looks furiously at him. On the other hand, Prince Brute has realized she is getting bored with that stuff, so he gives Nima a suggestion to play with Lars. Listening to this, her eyes have started shining with happiness. King has also allowed her. Ignoring them, she has moved to Lars, who is also pleased by watching his old friend. Nima holds his tail, and Lars takes her to his place. Lars is seated in a luxurious environment. Even a large piece of meat is kept before him. Watching this, she holds a piece of meat and offers to this sky tiger. Without wasting a single second, he has eaten the piece. Although her hand gets inside his mouth, he has spared her tiny hands. Her hands become wet, and the people around her are shocked. How can she make him eat without any protective thing? To wipe out her hands, Maid gives her handkerchief, which she takes and says thanks. Watching her cuteness, Maid has become so pleased and moved from here. Nima ignores it and is about to five Lars. Lars also enjoys her company, so how can he avoid her command? Both match their hands, and Nima's heart is jumping with happiness. Royal people surrounding her are shocked because she is linked with Furious and other animals. Later, she lies down with Lars and feels her heaven around him. It's not long since she has fallen asleep. Even her father loves his daughter, who looks so much pretty and snoozing. Other generals who know Fire Dragon's appearance are doing too well for their land. And her pact with the dragon is also important. So, they want to keep a guard on her because someone could hurt her. His father, who can hear everything, is fed up because their selfish conversation could spoil his daughter. Instead, he prefers to leave from here. Other also wants to use Nima for their evil purpose. Even the high priest shares his desire to take Nima under his supervision. He wants to make her holy maiden by educating her. But his father knows what kind of education he will teach her. So, Osf is not going to give her daughter under his supervision. He knows he can transform her daughter into a puppet he can control according to his evil purposes. Osf says no to him because he doesn't want to turn her into a doll. Doll's words are insulting to him, and he attacks Osf and his wife. He shares his doubts about Nima. She is not their daughter. Her features aren't similar to their siblings. This time, Cerulia decided to answer this accusation. To clear his doubt, she mentions the true name of the vowel, but he again suspects her for the true name Vow. Now, she reveals about the king's presence there, and if he dares to doubt again, he is messing with a king. Is the king ready to sacrifice with his own hands if he does this? Still, royal people oppose him because they don't want to let her go quickly. They share their opinion in front of the king. Later, Lars wakes up Nima by licking her face. Also, she opens her eyes and looks at her parents. Her parents give her the good news that no one scolds her. Also, the divine beast has given her power, so she shouldn't be frightened. At the same time, King also holds Nima in his hands. He is always obsessed with this pretty girl. The king has also given her permission to come to the palace anytime. Also, it's her wish to go wherever she wants to go. But she needs someone's supervision to go to the dragon's place. Listening to this, her senses have activated. If the girl has fallen in love with fluffy animals, how can she miss the chance to meet them? After some time, Brute Prince takes Nima to his room. He wants to send Nima to the dragon heaven in Gwyn's company. When Gwaine arrives then, Nima is surprised to see him. His personality has amused her, and she greets him. Gwaine is her guardian, and she can inquire about anything from him. Also, he is responsible for protecting Nima. Just then, Brute Prince orders him to take Nima into Dragon's stable. It is a great shock for him, because the prince is sending her to a dangerous place like Dragon's stable. By moving with guards, she is ashamed of herself. Why does she need their protection? However, she proceeds because she can do anything for her fluffy animals. On the way, she meets Dan, the Knight of Dragons. His clothes are ordinary because he has to take care of dragons. He is not compelled to do this job. He is also fond of dragons. To look at his appearance, Gwyn criticizes him because he has yet to wear a royal dress like him. Gwaine and Dan both are mates at the academy level. That's the reason they are always ready to mess with each other. To sort out this matter, Nima turns their attention to her by pulling their trousers. Now, they have realized what they have done with her. So, Dan holds her hand and asks her to be cautious because there can be more dragons than she imagines. Some dragons, whom he calls Lindblum, are flying in the air. And the dragons who don't have wings are called Lindrex. These dragons live in the deserts and lake areas. The area depends upon the dragon. Whichever they suit most, they live there. Also, they prefer to live here because it has become their home. Just then, she tries to suppress the desire for a head pat on the dragon's head. But she knows Dan is not going to allow her. When she can't control her desire, then red beams appear in her body. These gleams have attracted the dragon, and they are rushed to them. It happens rarely, so Dan and others become vigilant in dealing with the situation. Dan takes the girl away, but the leader dragon stops them from proceeding. Nima ignores Dan and steps forward to Gizzle. It shocked her because she even knew his name. This dragon says yes to her, and she jumps to pat his head. Also, she has taken permission from Dan to go with Gizzle. Dan, who is stunned enough, can't deny he has given her approval. Gizzle has bent so that she could sit on him. Without wasting a single second, she rides on the dragon. It takes her to the sky, and it's a beautiful day of her life. Leaving Dan and other forces in bewilderment behind, she has gone. By sensing her, Gizel has known. 3 years Nima is human, but he can get the fragrance of fire dragon from it. Yet he knows she hasn't made a pact with her. Nima knows about it. She shares with him about the fire dragon, who has communicated with her a few times. Nima has the fire dragon's orb, so this is a plus point through which she can communicate with the dragon. As Nima has fire dragon orb, another dragon will welcome her as a maiden dragon. He has taken her to a flowery land where the little dragon warmly welcomes her. She even makes a flower band for the dragon, but he prefers to eat than wear. Also, it looks delicious to him. She starts to chase him to teach him a lesson. On the other hand, other baby dragon thinks they are playing, so they join her. Later, she is swimming in the water and messes with her dragon by throwing water at him. As a result, another dragon starts playing with her, but Dan and Guyan are discussing her. Dan knows about Gizel's nature. He is the leader of dragons. Also, he doesn't prefer to talk with anyone, but he has allowed Nima on his back, which is weird. Dan, who doesn't know about the Fire Dragon Pact, worries about her. But when Guyan clears his doubts, his mouth widens. How could she be so daring at this young age? An orb that she has is extraordinary. It reveals this little girl is not an ordinary one. Not only this, she returns with Lars and another dragon. This is more shocking because she is making a connection with all the animals, and fluffy animals love her company. How can this be possible? Apart from this, she has no concern about what people think about her. Rather, she is so busy with the animals that she doesn't have time to think about them. Right now, her happiness is out of control because she has patted lots of animals. Next day, Nima is moving ahead to Beast Knight's stable, where this tiny little girl will meet with her fluffy animals. Just then, she is joined by the captain of the special squad, Les. He is in charge of hanging her out in the place. Right now, Nima is pissed because Dan is not leaving her hand for a second. He is afraid she can move anywhere without her permission. At the same time, she introduces herself. As they are informed, Les is shocked because this girl looks ordinary and has no special ability. But he is confused because Dan, who loves the dragon, is compelled to be jealous of a little girl. Because Gizel is permitted to sit on him and introduce her to his herd. That's shocking. But it isn't easy to believe how this 3-feet girl is taming the animals. By keeping everything aside, they have moved forward, because he will figure out her special ability to tame stunning animals soon. Firstly, she meets with the herd leader, Yuaz. This horse is pretending to be proud when Nima requests him to play. He shows arrogance by snorting on her face, which is surprising for her. It's the first time an animal has refused to play with her. On the horse's behalf, Les excuses and calls him selfish. Listening to the selfish word, he is disappointed. Now, it's clever Nima's time to win this horse's heart. She moves to him and pats him by saying that Yuaz is not selfish. Rather, he has to adopt the proudy behavior to keep the herd just. Les has also realized his fault. Without wasting time, he apologized to Yuaz. Also, they move forward to look at other animals. As this ground is massive, so Les has arranged Hugh for her. This horse is perfect for beginners. Nima is glad because she feels as if she is a princess, and riding on a fluffy white horse is her biggest dream. On the way, she looks at the boar, who is grinding on the ground in search of food. It looks enticing to her. Also, many little boars appear on this boar behind. Looking at Nima, they have rushed to her because they want to play with her. Many can hurt her, so Nima shouts to help her. Her hero, Yuaz, grants her wish by turning his face to the little boars. By watching his face, they have dropped their idea to play with Nima and have escaped. Also, he remembers lovely looks to Nima. This is a great shock for Les because Yuaz never gets friendly with anyone. Also, Nima says thanks to him for saving their life. On the other hand, they proceed, and Les introduces her to Wakas. This is a faster animal that runs beyond her imagination. They use these animals in times of emergence. Listening, Wakas is the fastest animal here. Something mischievous pops into her tiny brain. She shows her stubbornness and repeatedly shows her wish to sit on Wakas. She wants to ride on Wakas and enjoy the atmosphere around her. Although she doesn't know, it will be the biggest flaw of her life. Les has chosen energetic but calm Wakas to grant her wish. Nima has yet to learn. This is going to be her biggest mistake to ride on Wakas, as Les proves persistent, so they have to sit on Wakas. But Waka's neck is far from her reach, so her fingers are dying to touch her curvy neck. But Les asks her to hold him from behind. As she has touched, she is feeling no less than heaven. To make the Wakas run, Les pat his leg on Wakas' stomach. By getting the sign, Wakas has started running like a lion. His speed is incredible, and the strong wind is not allowing Nima to take a breath. Now, she has realized what she has done to herself. To pity her, Les cast a wind spell that helped her breathe relief. Also, Les is apologizing for not casting this spell before. but she has realized Les has done this intentionally. He is feeling jealous of her. It's no longer when she has to take a relief breath when she has decided to ride faster. Before, Nima refused to do so. He had already patéed on Waka's stomach. Nima's worst experience has started. When she is off on Waka's, her head circles. She is even shivering because Waka's is too difficult to handle. Les gives Nima shock that Waka's has used only 60% speed. Hearing this, Nima wondered because she is addicted to surprising others. But this time, Waka's has snatched this title from her. Even Dan is unable to stop his laugh. She moves forward by keeping this experience aside because she needs to explore more animals. This experience can extinguish her fondness for her animals. At this time, Les looks at Greyhawk and, whistling, makes him sit on his arm. Watching Greyhawk, she is obsessed with him but can't make him sit on her arm. Her little arms are too short for it. Thinking about this, she feels sad. And her sadness is unable to hide from Les. This Greyhawk is used to send messages. Still, there is a message on its leg. Reading the message, he has become upset and prefers to quit the exploration. Because his subordinate needs his help, and that's why he needs to be there. For a second, Nima got sad because she didn't want to end there. But he has permitted her to come here again. And Les can meet her with other animals. But the problem is that when Les is going to be free, in the blink of an eye, he reached out to his squad and inquired about the white moose escaping. They have yet to learn how he has escaped. Also, this animal can create a mess here, so he orders them to be captured as soon as possible. Aside from this, he thinks about Nima's attraction to Yua's, and Waka's attraction can't be ignored. But this is not the right time to think about her. However, Les has no idea another shock is ready for him on the side of Nima. She has found out about White Moose. Also, she is riding on it. Lars is also with her. Nima is trying to discover Gizzle when she looks at White Moose. This White Moose has lost, and Nima must take her back. Listening to this, Les is in wonderment because Nima should inform him first. She gives him a positive response. Next time, she has decided to inform him first. And Les is feeling jealous to look at her with animals. Also, why do animals get too attached to her? This is a puzzle to him that will not need to sort it out. After that, she has reached home. In addition, it's her birthday, and her parents inquire about her wish. Nima only wishes to visit the city. Listening to this, her father becomes anxious because he can't let her go alone. Here, her mother takes her side because it's not a big deal, she will send someone responsible. She wishes to have Karna with her, and her mother has granted her permission to go with Paul. Under Paul's supervision, they are looking at the beauty of the market. Even King is so conscious about the city that he has made it pretty. If someone looks at the sky, it's so interesting for Nima. By sitting on her favorite pet, she is watching the adorable dresses. Many yummiest dishes are around her, and they are calling Nima. To buy them, she inquires money from her sister Karna. It's her first time buying something, so she inquires how to spend it. Nima, who loves drumstick, has moved to grab it. She buys 3 drumsticks, which create water in her mouth. Luckily, she has succeeded in buying them, which she has brought for her sister. She has given one of them to Paul, who has refused to have it because he is on duty. Still, she is persistent in handing him over. In reality, she is bribing him to carry the shopping bags. With a smile, he has taken. She bought the last one for her favorite dog, Lee. It's her birthday, so she has bought it for him. Later, her nose can smell something more delicious than a drumstick. It's Pepe, whom she is dying to have it. Without listening further, she ran to buy it. It looks as if Pepe is going to finish for her. Nima runs to a lady who offers a lot of Pepe at a low price. That's the reason she has bought a lot. But one thing Karna is tormenting: why she has bought so many Pepe. But innocent Nima reveals that she has bought for all other servants. Hearing this, Karna realized how sweet her sister was. Overwhelmed by her love, she hugged her. But it's difficult for Nima to take a breath. So, Paul realizes that if she doesn't leave, then she can squeeze Nima and Pepe. After all, she had left her, and Nima took a relief breath. After an exhausting shopping, Nima takes her to coffee. But many girls are already sitting and have started making fun of Nima and Karna. The girl whom they have listened to a lot is Nima. But their narrow mind can't see her special ability. Even her eyes are black, which discloses that she doesn't have special power. This has hurt Nima a lot. She even made a sad but cute face. Karna can't tolerate her sister's humiliation. She shows them their true place. These girls are eligible to see Nima's true talent. Only royal people can, as the king has noticed and allowed her to appear whenever she wants. Saying this, Karna has taken her away from these evil personalities. Later, she arrives at her home, where she feels proud of her sister. How cool her sister is, who has made their mouth shut. This is an amazing birthday for her. When she stepped inside and opened the door, she looked at the surprise waiting for her. Her father and mother have thrown a party in honor of her birthday. There is a part of the plan to send her away so they can prepare. On the other hand, the king, queen, Dan, and everyone has arrived on her birthday. Overwhelming with happiness, she starts weeping. King cracks a joke. Maybe Nima doesn't like her surprise, but her mother knows how much she loves. Around her mother's arms, she is weeping. At this time, Prince Brute messes with her by asking her ugly when she weeps. In crying, she tells him to shut up, and she looks adorable. Even Prince also can't restrain his smile by watching her pretty smile. After that, she started enjoying the party. When the queen calls and hands her over magical stones that can protect her, King also teaches her magic to guard herself, so she must call King for help, and he can appear at the same time to help her. She is surprised for a moment. Her astonishment vanished when Prince Brute kept everyone away. He has given her a bracelet that has the power to keep her protected. Also, he warns her not to remove it ever. He brags about his gift, which is superior to the king and queen. Nima smiled, but she realized he was bragging as he was used to. After that, everyone presents her gifts. Gwen has given her an encyclopedia of animals. Only Nima knows how much she cherishes them. Just then, Dan offered her hair clip, which was made of dragon scale. She gladly takes it. Also, she is shunned because Dragon has allowed Dan to pluck the scale willingly from his neck. Dragons never allow to touch this part of their body. Later, it's Les's turn to give her Rainhawk. This Rainhawk sits on her hand, and it's amazing for her. This Rainhawk has won her heart. Even her parents have allowed her to keep it. Les has noticed the sad face of Nima when she can't make the hawk sit on her hand. So, he has taken this for Nima. It's a wonderful birthday for her. At night, Nima gives her hawk name. She has decided to call him Nox, who is repeatedly uttering cheep cheep with a cute face. Next day, she teaches her new pet Nox. Dan and Les are keeping an eye on her. They are stunned at how a little girl has succeeded in teaching a bird. Even the bird has recognized her. It doesn't matter how far she goes, this bird will certainly return to her. Just then, Les advised her to train the Nox far away tomorrow. Listening to this, she has made a cute puffy face. She can't train her Nox anymore. Today, someone elegant will teach her, and she needs to learn these. When she returns home then, Anil is waiting for her. What a graceful lady she is. Looking at her appearance, way of talking, outfit, and hairstyle discloses how amazing a lady she is. In the first impression, she has won Nima's heart, but she has no idea what will happen next that will turn this lady into her enemy. After Butler has gone, she scrutinizes her eyes as if Anil has found out her prey. She has decided to work on her manner of speech. It's shocking because Nima's way of talking is stunning. What this lady is trying to do with Nima. As Nima calls her parents Mama and Papa, these words are inappropriate for them. Hearing this, Nima has started moving her head. According to Anil, she should give a response by saying words. As a result, she hit her with a stick. It's painful, so Nima gets angry but cannot share her emotions. She has control of her expression in the worst circumstances. It makes a refined lady. But there are better ways to teach a 3-year-old beautiful kid. Just then, Butler enters a room and is wrongly perceived as having gotten along with each other. Anil also ensures him that soon they are going to be a fast friend. Watching her attitude, she has realized how clever she is. She has 2 colors, one for Nima and the next for the other. After this, hellish treatment starts, where she has to tolerate the beat whenever she does something wrong. Even her body is full of scars after getting lessons from her. Nima has learned the lessons of learning her properly when she has gone. At night, she thinks about this violence. As she has been the teacher of Karna and Ralph then, she is worried for them. It does close, they have to bear this kind of treatment. Nima has decided to face it until she has acquired the victory. With a new spirit, she is ready to take her other class. Firstly, she has again been hit by the stick for slouching. Even though Nima is beaten badly, she gives a heart-winning smile. Watching her overwhelming smile, she felt ashamed, but soon she controlled her emotions. She starts teaching her, and Nima shows a professional smile. Her experience in a previous life has made her steadfast in standing out in front of Anil. At dinner time, Nima walked out from dinner early. She hasn't finished her dinner properly. Her family, who loves her most, are worried about her. It never happens when Nima has left her meal. To inquire, her mother has caught her and she suggests checking the doctor. Nima says no to her and starts running. She knows that she would have spit out the truth about Anil if she had faced her more. But it's her bad when Ralph has captured her with magic. It's not fair because Ralph has used magic, and she hasn't the ability to use magic against it. Watching her, her mother has analyzed that Anil is behind this mess. Also, she has decided to reproach the lady who has made her daughter's life pathic. but Nima reveals it's her war, and she knows how to tackle it. She can't allow anyone to be involved in this. Her mother likes her spirit and decides not to reveal this to Karna and Osf, but she helps him by saying Nima needs to figure out the weakness of her enemy. To approach her fault, she needs to admit her everything. Deep down in her heart, she has made up her mind to act upon it. To relax her, Ralph has cast magic on her. It has relaxed her nerve and Nima is feeling light as leaves. Even her brother also presents her services to better about her enemy. 1 year has passed, and Nima has gotten all the refined lady-type abilities. Even Osf is amazed to look at her elegant lady. It's all credit goes to Anil who has trained her so well. With her appearance, she looks like a real lady. But the problem with her strike turns her into a monster. One day, when Anil is not here, Paul gives her a paper. This letter mentions that she belongs to the Church of Divine Creation. Now, she has gotten true proof to target her enemy. She is a believer in those who transform a girl into a puppet, and striking the students is also she has taught from them. Now, little Nima has decided to use this weapon against her opponent. During the class, she opens the Pandora box. In this, she inquires about Aiku, who is suffering from drought. That is why they ask for help from the king and the church's divine creation. King has allowed them food, but the church divine of creation has compelled them to go empty-handed. This question was popping into her mind, and she placed it in front of Anil. Hearing this, Anil has started taking the side of her belief. She reveals that one of the priests has a great connection with God. These people are cursed from the side of God. Therefore, they don't bother to help her. But Nima again inquires, all nations are equal in God's eye. How can they perceive it? Also, she has never met with them, then how can she accuse them for barbaric behavior? According to her, they are difficult to approach because they are cruel. But she hasn't approached them, and she is only blindly by the wrong belief. Even Nima gets angry and calls her uncouth. Listening to this, she struck her face and scolded her. Now, it is the time when she reveals her true face. She discloses that she is an elegant lady, but her belief is wrong. Nima wins the arguments with the discussions. Even without saying a word, she has rushes from here, because she hasn't anything to say. On the other hand, Osf has looked at the scar on her cheeks. Watching this, he is burning with a fire. Nima calms down him because it's her fight, and she knows how to deal with them. Osf appreciates her spirits. Still, Osf gives Anil a warning not to raise her hands on his daughter. Listening to this, she apologized and admitted her mistake. After this, her behavior has changed and she is having her life again. Nima plays violent very well, and her stitching is elegant. Even her parents are surprised how she gets older soon. Later, she moves to Yua's and pats on his head. Feeling a fluffy animal is like she is in heaven. Also, she rides on Yua's and enjoys her freedom again. Apart from this, the family is in charge of the kingdom of Gash. Something is wrong here, and he has decided to check on this. Also, Nima has grown up and can help handle this issue. Nima is pleased because it's her first tour of Snowfall City. She is dying to go there. To go there, they are going to use a transportation spell. Many mages are around her, they perform the magic. Even the circle behind them is shining. And they have moved to another room. According to Nima, nothing changed. They are still here, but they have reached the north, where people welcome them warmly. Nima, who is too much excited to watch the snow, has opened the door. Even Osf tries to stop her, but it's too late. She has already opened the door. While looking at the snow, she has gone crazy because it's also fluffy. Soon, little Nima realizes it's too cold. She can turn into ice. Osf realizes that her daughter is getting frozen. He rushes to her and performs warm magic on her. It makes her warm. Her father narrates about the icy weather, so she should be careful because there is coldness which penetrates in their body. To keep her protected, he has made Nima wear a warm dress. After putting it on, she is relaxed and ready for further adventure. In the carriage, her father reveals they need to move to a country with more freezing weather than this one. So, she should be cautious, reaching the isolated house where many servants are here to serve them and welcome them. As her father has informed her, she doesn't feel a pile of snow on the trees. By keeping everything aside, she turns her attention to food and hopes for the best. When she is served with food, then without wasting a single second, she tastes the food. It looks like this food is mouth-watering. She enjoys the food with an open heart. She is fond of food, so she has decided to pack the food when she moves to the forest. Listening to this, she is shocked because she has never imagined it. Now, Nima turns her attention to her father, who has decided not to take her with him. In the forest, there can be wild monsters. He can take risks for her daughter, but she can take assistance from the red dragon. To take guidance, she repeatedly calls the red dragon. Red Dragon answers her calls and asks her to call once. She inquires about the dragon and the forest. But to give the report, Dragon needs to know about the location. She reveals her destination. Knowing this, the Red Dragon is shocked because there can't be a monster. Even the monster that they are mentioning lives in the south. So, Nima realized it was God's wish, and he had done this purposely. But why God will do this? This question emerges in Osfa's mind. Nima is in trouble because she can't reveal the mission that God assigns. Like this video and let me know in the comments if you are excited for next part.